The clock is ticking, and once again, the United States finds itself on the precipice of a full government shutdown. For many, this feels like a recurring nightmare, but the stakes in this specific political standoff are higher than ever. As Congress grapples with partisan gridlock, millions of Americans are left wondering how their daily lives will be upended. From the safety of the food you eat to the stability of your paycheck, the ripple effects of a funding lapse are profound. We are not just talking about closed national parks and museums. We are talking about a systemic freeze that halts the machinery of the world's largest economy. In this deep dive, we will explore exactly what happens when the lights go out in Washington and why your health and finances are directly in the crosshairs. Let's look at the numbers and the reality of the situation as we approach the midnight deadline. To understand a shutdown, you have to understand the law behind it. The Anti-Deficiency Act. This law essentially forbids federal agencies from spending money that hasn't been officially appropriated by Congress. When a funding bill isn't passed, the government has no choice but to cease non-essential operations immediately. But non-essential is a misleading term. It includes everything from processing small business loans to updating travel advisories. Only accepted employees, those protecting life and property like air traffic controllers and active duty military, keep working, often without immediate pay. This creates a massive backlog that can take months to clear once the government reopens. The legal rigidity of our system turns a political disagreement into a nationwide logistical failure within hours of the deadline passing.
Perhaps the most alarming consequence of a shutdown is the threat to public health. During a funding lapse, the FDA typically pauses routine food safety inspections. This means the oversight of our domestic and imported food supply is drastically reduced, increasing the risk of undetected outbreaks. Similarly, the CDC's ability to track seasonal influenza and other emerging infectious diseases is severely hampered. Research projects at the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, often come to a standstill, delaying clinical trials for life-saving treatments for cancer and rare diseases. When the scientists and inspectors are sent home, the safety net that protects our physical well-being is stretched to its breaking point. This isn't just about bureaucracy. It's about the vulnerability of the American patient and consumer.
For millions of families, a shutdown is a direct financial blow. Approximately 2.1 million federal civilian workers and 1.3 million active duty military personnel face the prospect of working without pay or being furloughed. While back pay is eventually guaranteed by law, the immediate loss of income can lead to missed rent, mortgage, and car payments. Beyond the federal workforce, nearly 7 million people, mostly women and children, rely on the WIC program for nutritional assistance. During a prolonged shutdown, these benefits could be cut off if contingency funds run dry. The IRS also slows down, delaying tax refunds and audits. This disruption cascades through the economy as families tighten their belts, leading to a measurable drop in consumer spending in every state in the union. The cost of a shutdown is measured in billions. Goldman Sachs estimates that every week the government is closed, it shaves about 0.2 percentage points off of quarterly GDP growth. While much of this is recovered when the government reopens, the uncertainty it creates in the private sector is harder to quantify. Government contractors, who employ millions, often don't receive back pay, leading to permanent losses for businesses and workers. The stock market often reacts with volatility as investors loathe the instability and lack of governance. Federal permitting for everything from housing developments to oil and gas projects grinds to a halt, delaying billions in private investment. A shutdown is not just a pause. It is a self-inflicted wound that undermines the global standing of the US dollar and our economic credibility.
Why does this keep happening? At its core, the current standoff is a battle over spending levels and policy writers. One side of the aisle is demanding deep cuts to discretionary spending and stricter border policies, while the other insists on maintaining current social programs and climate initiatives. With a razor-thin majority in the House and a divided Senate, passing a full budget has become a Herculean task. Instead of long-term planning, Congress has relied on continuing resolutions, short-term bandages that just kick the can down the road. This budgeting by crisis has become the new normal in Washington, where the threat of a shutdown is used as a high-stakes bargaining chip. Unfortunately, the pawns in this game are the American people, who pay the price for this lack of compromise. While you can't control the votes in Congress, you can prepare for the fallout. Financial experts recommend maintaining an emergency fund that can cover at least 1 month of expenses in case of a service disruption or delayed payment. If you are planning to travel, renew your passport now. During a shutdown, processing times can skyrocket as staff is furloughed. Small business owners should expedite any pending SBA loan applications, as these will likely be frozen. For those relying on government assistance, check with local agencies to see how much bridge funding they have available to continue benefits like SNAP or WIC. Knowledge is your best defense. Stay tuned to official government websites, which are updated even during shutdowns, to see which specific services remain operational in your area. A government shutdown is more than a political headline. It is a test of our national stability. Whether it lasts 2 days or 35, the scars it leaves on the economy and the trust of the citizens are lasting. As we watch the negotiations unfold, it's clear that the money and health at risk are not just abstract concepts, they are the foundations of our daily lives. We must demand a more functional budgeting process that prioritizes the people over partisan points. Thank you for staying informed and engaged. For ongoing updates on this developing story and how it affects your wallet, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. In a world of uncertainty, being prepared and informed is your most valuable asset. What are your thoughts on the current standoff? Let us know in the comments below.